Do you feel, Jackie? Do you feel that you were in a battle over your money with Chiasano or Howard?
Yes.
Yes.
You know what it was? Howard and Donna's agent.
Right.
And Tom Chiasano. Tom Chiasano is just like telling somebody to go in and pull the trigger. You know, he had nothing to do with anything. It was Howard and Mel and Don and Tom, and they're all behind the door, and somebody slips a paper under the door and says, "You're fired," you know, and you don't know whose handwriting, you know.
Right. It's obvious who ran things.
The powers that be.
But the bottom line is Howard is the golden goose. If he says, you know, I want to fart in your face, you go over there and you know what I mean? Shit. He gets whatever he wants. Oh, you know. I would love to have gotten you more money, Artie, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it out of those guys.
Was that what he would?
No, but I'm saying.
But that sounds like.
First of all, on the radio, he said, I was in L.A. I remember shaving to go to the sitcom that was at number 89 on the charts. And I said, I can't. Doug Stanhope was the first comic I heard sitting in that chair, and he was really funny. And Howard said, we're going to play Win Jackie's Money.
Right.
And, when I got there and I saw what supposedly Jackie's money was, I said he had a legitimate bitch. But Chiasano, you know, I love Tom, but Jackie's right. He was a middle management guy. He came to me about 6 months into.
You know, it must have really killed him when my salary actually exceeded his. That must have made it.
Oh, that was that or John, a Puerto Rican beating him at his golf club, and John being humble about it. So he came to me 6 months in, and again, I'm still nervous about it. It was going well, but I could get fired at any moment. He goes, Art, listen, the sponsors say we're worried about Artie, like what he says. And now I'm thinking, is Howard telling me through him, or is it just Tom making this up?
Right.
And I was scared. Then now I'm apprehensive about anything I'm saying. And I said my only option is to tell Howard what happened. It was so funny. He goes, fuck him. Be more offensive. Be more offensive.
Because that very well could have been Tom.
Yeah, well, no, it was just Tom. I knew that because Howard wouldn't yell at
What was that story fucking John told about being in the office with Chiasano about?
No, he's still telling it.
Tom.
Once upon a, the end. What was the story?
It was a story that he went in and he was trying to get more money out of Tom. And, of course, Tom had a life-threatening bout with skin cancer that he came through. But it looked very touchy for a while, touch and go. So John asked him for money, and Tom couldn't convey to John that this wasn't going to happen. So he finally told him, he goes, John, I'd sooner have my cancer come back than give you more money.
Now there's a company man.
There's
a company
When John
man.
realized he should have been nicer about it, he goes, how's your kids? How's your kids? How's your kids?
You know what they did to John?
We'll take a quick break.
They wouldn't give John a raise. They wouldn't give John a raise. You're just leaving so you don't have to hear. Look at his asses.
His ass is hanging.
Wait till you get there to take your pants.
I love it.
But John wanted a raise. They wouldn't give him a raise, so they gave him health insurance. And
Right.
then they sold the place, and they took away the
health insurance. He ended up with ungats, as they say. Ungats. We're going to take a quick break here. I'll talk about Bet DSI. So if you want to hang out or stretch your legs or you don't smoke or anything.
Are you talking to me?
You're a healthy guy.
I'm going to go see Artie's dick.
Yeah, go see Artie's dick. Take a piss.
When I first met Jackie, you were at John's party, and you literally had a garbage can of shrimp, and you were de-shitting them. And you were an expert, like taking the shit out of a shrimp and then eating them. Yeah. I never met Jackie before. I go, Jack, hi. He goes,
I'm proud to say that.
It was fun. In front of John's party, John would hire the band Zebra for $10,000 and then not pay them.
Oh my God! Really?
Can you do it? Hold on, love. Hold on. Can you do Journey?
Who's behind the? Open the door.
The party wasn't as profitable as I thought it would be.
Exactly. Hey, Zebra, I could pay you $10,000, or I could go on the biggest radio show ever and talk about pension for young broads. Your bass player punched a midget whore in the face.
$10,000.
Now, what's your status with John? I feel big.
What time is it?
Yeah. Thank you. You're
Well,
right.
I got in all kinds of trouble with him.
Yeah, but you know what?
Because the day I did your pot, and he's so weird because I said,
Yep.
I said to him I wanted to use his picture in the book, and they wanted to interview him for
She's El
my
Chapo.
because they're doing a
Stuttering Juan.
they're doing a documentary. I mean, and he goes, Jackie's a hypocrite. He wants my picture and he wants me to do an interview, and then he trashed me on
That was
Artie's.
out of nowhere.
I didn't trash him at all.
No, you didn't.
And he was upset, and then he blocked me. Who's blocking? Who the
He
fuck pays
blocks
attention?
at the drop of a hat. You're blocked, and then you're unblocked, and then you're blocked again.
I love
the
the
new
guy.
Rumble.
I never stopped loving him. I never broke his balls. You know, I go. I've been doing that.
You
since
bust
the day I
balls
met him.
like you do with any friend that you have. And he loves busting balls, but then the second you turn it on, like Artie says, you do this innocent, funny thing that's been going on for years.
He goes right
and then
to
he'll go right for your jugular.
And instead of breaking balls, it turns into trash.
Yeah.
Trash to me is like a heavy, heavy.
That's
I
it.
say something like Stuttering Juan, like El Chapo looks like
Larry, he does.
and he goes, "Your father fell off a roof."
Jesus, you know,
Where'd that bazooka come
so
from?
he gives you, you jaywalk and he gives you the chair.
Exactly. Nice one, Shecky.
Fuck.
Nice one, Shecky. Well, Fred was famous for that with Robin.
For the
Fred,
record,
but Robin would
John.
say,
Really?
Robin would say something like, "Well, Fred, was a farm boy. Hey, Robin, you're fat." And I was like, "That was for me."
Everything-
That was popcorn. I'm not saying a goddamn.
Everything's a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
John does that, and he's like,
For the record, I love John. I'm saying that because I don't want to. I don't want to get.
You don't want to get blocked.
I don't want to get.
Jackie joke, Jackie boy.
But John does stuff that he doesn't want you to tell scumbags. Like he came down to my shore house once. I had orange towels, and he took a shit and wiped his ass. Like he wiped his ass. My towels look like the Bengals helmets.
Now, see, I don't say stuff like that. You say stuff.
The Bengals helmets. That's a joke.
That's so funny.
It's hilarious.
I say Bengals helmets, and he goes, "I wasn't on welfare, nigga."
Yeah, he just
Where did that come from?
goes. He attacks with a bazooka.
You said the N-word. Are you auditioning for a job?
Nicolas Cage.
The N-word is in his audition for the Tonight Show, and he got it.
Ah, shit. Jackie Mason.
The first time John came on the show, he did like the second day he came in and said, "I wrote a song for you, Howard." And everybody's like, "All right, let's let this guy sing his song." And the opening line of the song was, "Poor little Jew boy thought he was a coon." We all looked at each other.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Where did he see?
I love it. I love the idea of a John telling an offensive joke and he can't get through the tunic, and then they go to the diner.
Hey, in Howard's defense, we gotta respect the guy who Gary.
How about the $1 trillion?
Well, let's forget that for a second. When Gary walked in and said, "Hey, Howard is the guy in the lobby with a bad stutter that wants to be an intern." Before he finished, he said, "Hire him."
Yeah, he's hired.
The name of his poem should have been, "If I didn't have a stutter, I'd be pumping gas in Massapequa."
When you guys would go on like the social little outings to a house or a party or anything, was there still that like that weird hierarchy where you couldn't?
Yeah,
Howard broke John's balls unmercifully.
Yeah.
Because it would Gary called it the founding fathers. It was Howard and Robin and Fred and Jackie. We were the founding fathers, and John wanted to be a founding father, and
But he
Howard
was a
never
motherfucker.
He was in on everything, but then Howard would tell him he wasn't. And he'd go, I remember we were out in L.A. one time, and we were in one of the cabanas at the Four Seasons, and I was smoking pot. Yeah. And Howard gave John shit for smoking pot, and John's like, "Well, Jackie was smoking pot."
What an ass!
Yeah, but he's a founding father, you know.
Yeah.
That's fine with him.
He was here right from the start.
But you're Puerto Rican.
Wait, what?
This is joke.
Now bring me
joke
more
he wants to do
melon.
on a Netflix special. Yeah. I'm half Danish, half Spick. I'm a dick.
Jesus.
The premise of your first joke is you're a dick.
Oh God.
What's the name of the
I
album?
got a little
What's
dick.
the name of the album? Telling the audience stuff they don't know.
See, This is the stuff that gets John blocking you.
You know what?
too easy.
I'll tell you what. One of the reasons he's mad at me, I don't care if he gets mad at this. I went out to do a comedy show with Slayton and a couple guys at South Point, and John was on the show. And the owner invites us.
Comedy show.
The owner invites us. See, that's all going to come under my heading.
Hilarious.
So
It's so funny.
So the owner invites us at dinner. So it's like 20 of us having this incredible steak dinner, and I was like, "Where's John?" And they said it's so fucking fun. He's in his room, quarantined with head lice. So we're all peeing our pants, and I'm like, don't you just put on lotion and it's done, you know?
Yeah.
So he was mad at me.
crabs.
He's mad at me that we goofed on him on Artie's show. And why would I ask for his picture? And why would he be in my documentary? And I was upstairs with head lice. Did you come up to visit me and bring me a steak? I'm like, instead, I'm going to say to the owner who's buying us steaks and hanging out and having the greatest time of my life, this is really nice, but I want to go up and make sure John's okay.
Well, that's a way of saying
No.
Get head lice.
Yeah.
You're going to get it.
Yeah, how about that, too?
If you're quarantined in your room, which makes no sense.
Not coming in.
When he had long hair, he would get his gigs. The gigs on the West Coast, he'd get a JetBlue flight, and I'm trying to eat. He would fall asleep in a millisecond on a 6-hour flight, and because there's nothing in his head, he's not thinking about it. And he doesn't think about doing an hour. He's got 2 minutes. Gary's teeth need a wheelbarrow. Artie's fat. Now here's Artie with an hour, and we split the money. So he's like he falls asleep like this with his hippie hair. His hair's in my food.
Oh, shit.
I said JetBlue food can get worse.
Oh, my God.
He goes, whoa.
Is this before or after the lice?
Yeah, right?
No, I know.
Oh, look, soft shell crab here right on the airline.
This was lice-a-roni.
and everybody's freaking out. Don't tell anybody John has lice because if the word gets out, nobody's going to want to stay here.
Oh.
Stories are just astonishing.
But that's too funny.
It's so
gets
fucking
head lice.
funny.
Come on, you can't laugh
Who
at
gets
head lice.
He got paid. He got paid with a check in the early days. We go to San Diego, and I got lucky with a woman. And I'm 6 o'clock in the morning. He's with his wife. I'm walking through the lobby of the San Diego hotel, and I see a check on the floor. Made out to John for $10,000.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so he got paid the money he's supposed to dole out to us, and he dropped it.
He loses it.
4 hours earlier, I pick it up. I'm like Potter in It's a Wonderful Life. I'm like, let's see what happened. Sounds like you would be better off dead. I said, let me see how long it takes.
Right.
Before he-
Now you have to.
My hand to God. The show was on a Saturday. We flew home Tuesday afternoon. Did you see a check anywhere?
It took him 3 days to check his pocket.
Yeah.
And then me, him, and DePaulo did a gig in George Washington University. We come home the same night. It was John gets out to take a leak on Route 95, and he drops the check. And Nick, I learned my lesson. I got my own check, and he had to pay Nick out of it.
Oh, shit.
And so he doesn't pay Nick for like 2 weeks. I'm like, John, he's a comic. That's how they get paid. He's making a living. John goes, I had to put a kitchen floor in. What the fuck does he care about that? How was that his problem? I had to put a kitchen floor in. Can you get them to cut a new check? He takes out the piss like it's windy. Piss is coming in the fucking...
What a disaster.
Right now, Melendez is on the phone to Twitter saying, is there such thing as a permanent block?
Permanent block.
Yeah, if you eat his food. He would shit. Like Sam Simon was married to a Playboy playmate, and we were at the Ontario Improv, annulment. Anyway. Yeah, that's Sam, you fucking asshole. That's the eyeliner, Sam.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, that was a rumor. So she's a gorgeous girl, and in the Ontario Improv, they have in the green room a bathroom that's like with paper thin walls. John is shitting because he can't. He gets real nervous. He goes in with a Heineken and wings to shit.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so you hear like. Yeah, and like I'm meeting this girl for the first time. Sam goes, "This is Heather. She's from Indiana." Like you just hear John. It's like, you hear the toilet flush. There's clearly no time for hand washing. No time. You hear just the toilet flush. He comes out in one motion. And Sam just goes, "Hi, Heather." You know in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when Steve Martin shakes that guy's hand after he's supposed to go, that's the look she had.
Oh.
Oh, wow, that is.
You hear him.
That's bad. Yeah.
Shitting toilet flush, shake hands with a nice woman.
In John's offense, I want to say Artie made up this whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm sure. That reminds me of a scene in One Too Many, his big hit movie.
Where he's overacting and still photographs.
There's a bathroom scene in that where he's taking a very loud
He
shit.
takes that from real life, much
And,
like Seinfeld.
like Louis C.K. Is jerking off in front of
Louis
it.
C.K. where he jerks off in front of.
Yeah, apparently that's in his new movie.
why-
It's been taken. It was supposed to premiere tonight.
You know what he called what Stuttering John's movie is? Once dos tres.
So great. Say, Jackie,
No dos man. No dos mucho.
I moved to
Uno, dos,
Bayville.
mucho.
I moved to Bayville. We'll carpool. Now you worked early mornings. You guys
right.
work.
It's
You know
terrible.
that you have every second planned out.
Every second.
Every
yes.
second. So I get up. I know exactly how much time I got to brush my teeth, get in the car, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. So I'm going to go pick him up. The first day I go to pick him up, the house is completely black. It's 4:45 in the morning, so I can't beep the fucking horn. I'm in a neighborhood, and I'm waiting. I'm like, what the? This is
He's
wrong
gonna be
with-
standing out front.
Right.
Like Joe Pesci. Who
All
the
of a
fuck,
sudden,
what the fuck kind of people
I'm
are
not
they?
making it. All of a sudden, in the dark, I see a figure, and here comes fucking. This is like cold. It's like the fall, and here he is. This figure comes out of the dark in his underwear, holding his clothes and a cup of coffee. Sorry, overslept.
He was gonna get in and get dressed in your car.
Which he did, and I said, John, we're not doing this. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do
Well,
this.
and he didn't
And he
know-
was pissed at me for months that I wouldn't carpool with him.
He gets pissed too. Like Jackie's obviously as pro as a comic gets, and I had been doing it for a while. So, but John was pissed if he didn't put him in the comedian club.
Right.
And the last time we worked together, he opened for me, but he said bad things about Howard. It's a stern crowd. I said, John, you know what's going to happen.
Oh,
I'll
fuck.
pay you no matter what. Don't bail. And of course, he bailed without introducing me. I had to dig out of a hole, like literally.
Yeah.
So here's before he says hello, how you doing? He puts his beer down, and somebody in the crowd yells out, "I hope you get Lou Gehrig's disease." What the fuck? Is that a plant? Is that a plant?
Is a plan.
Is that an Artie plant? It
was his
I
wife.
guess cancer and AIDS. Cancer and AIDS was hacky. I hope you get Lou Gehrig's disease. The worst way to die.
Oh.
I hope you die from within.
By the way, that whoever yelled that out is brilliant. That's hilariously funny.
It's actually Don Herrera.
Oh,
the
man.
stories are endless. It's like John's that's why Howard is touched by the radio gods. He's got guys who are not only perfect for the show, but enormous fuck ups. Like
That you know what?
Keep on giving.
right?
It does just show that, like, because there have been other talented radio people out there that never could have even come close to the popularity that show got. And
Fuck Duncan Ed show.
yeah, but it's because it was a team effort, and the team itself was so odd and funny and talented. Like that, it would take you a million years to by chance
I'll give you
have that happen.
I'll give you a classic example of how Howard's lucky. We decide that we're going to roast an actual Ku Klux Klan guy. We're going to get gay comics. We're going to get black comics, and we're going to roast a KKK. And Robin, we had to put him in Robin's booth because of violence. Like he's in Robin's booth, and she was not happy about
I
that.
bet she was not happy.
He's in full regalia, like the full thing.
Oh, yeah, he had the whole. This is Daniel
okay.
Carver, right?
Yeah, Daniel Carver, who once said, "I hope the Mexicans outnumber the humans." So he said, "You know, a Trump speechwriter." So okay, this is where Howard. You can't even make this up. The first black comic was late because he got pulled over and he had warrants.
That's just.
Levy said, Levy got the black comic. He's coming. He's great. He got pulled over. He's late. All Daniel Carver had to do was, told you.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, we're not winning. He won the roast.
He won right there.
Game over.
Yeah, that's it.
Rubble
Done.
stamp.
We found the wittiest Klan guy.
Look at there he is in his
The Albert
in his
Brooks of Klan guys.
throne.
Look at
And,
that.
oh my God.
He'd come in, somebody say, "Now, Daniel, what about Robin?" He said, "She all right, but she's not a human. She's an animal."
Yeah.
And then the hypocrisy, like his son came once, and during the commercial, they all run to Howard, an enormous Jewish person, and say, "Hey, come to our party at the pool."
Yeah. And meanwhile, Jews even worse than blacks to the Klan.
Well, he said nothing lower than a Jew,
Nothing lower than a Jew is what the Klan says.
which is
At least last I read in the rule book.
get this. There's angry black.
All right, yeah. Look at the.
At least the costume is
cavalcade.
distinguished.
He's in Robin's booth. What else is in the news, Grand Dragon?
That's hilarious. Oh my
apparently
God.
a Jew.
Just look at that. It's something like only that show could get away with that.
Well, and the fact that he's late and he has warrants, it's like that is just
Brilliant.
Yeah, you can't make that up.
But what other show could have done that?
And
Like,
what's
it
so
got
brilliant is
this-
that's a real KKK
Right.
guy.
It's not
That
just,
would-
oh, let's get a fake guy, an actor. or
Well,
something.
we had a thing where I was going to bet against him in football every week, and they thought I beat him. I lost to him.
You lost.
I lost
him.
$25,000. So Snapple had to give a Klan guy
Right,
check for
yeah,
25.
the 25.
20, like he came in the suit, and they said, "Can you not do the suit?" He goes, "No, I'm wearing it." Like he's got the whole thing. We had to pay him the money.
They had to pay him.
I was mad because I lost, and every year you go, "I want to bet on the Minnesota Vikings, the Atlanta Falcons," and he's winning. I had the Falcons getting 7.
Oh my God! Isn't that something? It's
so perfect.
Gambling. It's gambling. Snapple had to come with a big check like this. And, a guy in the Klan.
Oh. Did you?
I don't even remember back far enough to remember how he surfaced. But
Daniel Carver?
I think he found the
Somebody
show.
gave him
Well, didn't you guys go looking for a Klan guy? And put
I
him-
think
He was
somebody
like the head muckety muck down
He
there.
used to
wasn't
have
just another guy.
an answering machine that you would
Oh,
call.
Wake up, white
Called
people! Right.
922 wine was the number.
And literally, it literally goes, "Another filthy Jew opened up a deli." On
Yeah. And it was kind of funny, and Howard would play it.
Wake up,
And then
white
somehow they found him.
And that's the show that Jackie, Fred, all the guys helped create. That's the irreverent.
yes.
And
Crazy.
now, what's not fair to the fans is they're paying money and they're not getting
not getting
they
that.
paid, what they signed up for. It's not
Yes.
the same show.
That-
Would we ever do that bit? It's
Oh, my-
gambling. It's a Klan guy. You would never do it. Never do it.
A lot of the people that are listening are fine with that, and I don't know whether they are fine with the
know.
change or whether it was just
just-
so gradual they're not even aware that used to.
He says,
Maybe they don't know what that old show was. Maybe they're young now or something. And
maybe. They're actually, Howard actually says he looks forward to watching Ellen dance on her show.
I still,
like that. How is he getting
Marty,
away with
I
that?
love you and I trust you implicitly. Unless I hear that, I will
I'm
never
not-
believe
right,
it.
right.
You know what? I'll bring out the fans send it to me.
I can't believe that actually would have come out of
I
his
did
mouth.
the same thing with a fan. I gave him the same challenge. He did not say Jennifer Aniston has a rancid cunt. 2 seconds later, she must have a rancid cunt.
There it is. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, thank you.
He enjoys watching Ellen.
Show did a 180. It did a 180.
Did, yes.
Greatest email I got. Somebody wrote me a couple months ago and said, "I've been listening to the Stern Show since 2007, something like that, and I'm such a huge fan of the show. But after I started listening, I started, going back and, accessing some of the older shows when they play the best of
All right.
on YouTube. And he said it's like having a new favorite band and finding out that their early albums were much fucking better.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the nicest compliment.
Yeah, and the biggest insult to me.
He didn't say with any exclusion of
no.
you asshole.
What the fuck?
Isn't that nice, Artie? That you're
Maybe it was 2013.
You're the Gary-
Don't-
I'll give you this, though, Jack.
Artie's the Gary Sharon version of Van Halen.
The Filipino guy.
the Filipino guy.
Doing wheels in the sky.
Shemp. Or
Tell you what, shit.
Joe Besser.
Curly Joe.
Early Joe Besser.
I went to go see a fucking with my cousin when I was a teenager. The Jerry Lewis Cinema was playing a fucking marathon of the goddamn Three Stooges. I got 2 Shemps and a Curly Joe.
Oh, please.
I'm like, I want my fucking money back.
Bastards.
I will say
a
this
lottery
about
that
Jackie.
is.
I realized I was so happy to get the job. Then when I think I told you this, when the first ratings book came out, it all hit me at once. I said, it's been #1 forever. It can only go down. Like if it doesn't
There's
stay number.
only one reason.
What if it's #4? like
Yeah.
Howard comes in and goes, "What's different?"
Where's Waldo?
Yeah. What's the one thing that have
What's
changed
different about this picture?
in this? Did you find that? Motherfucker. These guys are good. Let me hear this.
I love every show when you come out and dance.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Wow.
First of all, is that the Dennis the Menace kid?
Look at her eyes. She's still saying, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
Gee, Mr. Wilson.
I have to hear what he says after this. Please, let me hear that
I
again.
love every show when you come out and dance. I actually look forward
Well,
to
you
it.
look
Now,
forward to
you look
seeing what
forward
moves
to it.
he's going to do
Yeah.
today.
the same
You know what else I
moves
wish
every
would
day.
come out?
What's
You're
weird
the
about
stick
it
in your
is,
ass.
I'm trying to break down why
Look at her
I like
elephant-like
that. I
body.
think it's because I expect that you
Because
can't
you're a
dance.
faggot.
You know what I mean? Like Ellen DeGeneres can't dance.
What's it
Right.
like?
Then I
ha-
would
That's
not
it.
even
What's it like
want
having
to.
an uncle for a wizard?
But someone told
Look
me
at-
that you hate dancing at this point, but it's almost as if the audience demands it. And you want to stop dancing, but you
Portia
can't.
Rossi's Home
What's the
Alone.
truth?
Oh,
It's somewhere
Jesus.
in between. I don't like when I'm out in public and people
That's
start
great.
yelling
Thank-
at me
thank
to
you,
dance.
Ellen.
Like
Shit, you
I'm
think
a
she-
I
DJ.
thought they
Yes.
have an
Like you're-
evil,
like
dark
Fred
soul. That
Literally,
they're,
like there's no
I
music,
mean,
and
she's
I'm
just
just
like
in,
the
like, you
evilest
know, a doctor's
Artie,
office.
I am apologizing right now.
never lie to you.
Ever doubting
I would never lie to you.
that he said that. I couldn't possibly fathom he actually would have said that.
Like a little bit of like I never heard it, but like it's like my mother says, if you ever walk into an Olive Garden, some of me's gonna die. If I go into an Olive Garden in London, I was gonna go,
Oh,
pain in my kidney.
I know.
I
He's
got a pain for no reason when he said that.
I heard he said that, but I never knew he said it to her.
right to her.
Jesus.
He's fagging out in every. He's
know,
cashing his chips in every
I
way.
actually-
he's got $1 trillion. You got to kiss her fucking ass.
I actually enjoy watching you come out and dance.
If you enjoy that, don't say it.
No.
Don't say it.
Oh,
She's considered a
just
comedic
get
genius.
naked in front of the TV alone and jerk off like Louis C.K.
Don't let her leave.
Genius for coming up with dancing.
Right.
I dance
He
like shit.
dances. And then he's trying to rationalize it. See, because Ellen isn't a dancer. So I.
And the tap dance he's doing to try to keep that interesting.
Oh.
And she's sitting there like this. When can I get out of here?
Why doesn't he ask her? You know, years ago, the old school Howard would have asked, how many pubes do you have to pull out of your teeth before you floss?
You know what I love is when you shove your face into a pussy.
Yeah. So what got you off cock?
Who snuck that into the contract?
Spade did a open for her at the Dallas Improv years ago, when before she said she was gay, and he was hitting on her. And this is classic Spade, like being cocky about it. She wasn't reacting, and of course, this was before I got the news. Yeah, there's no way a chick wouldn't want to. She had to be a lesbian.
Could have been him.
Yeah. Well, if Spade tries to pick you up and it gets shot down, you just found another lesbian.
News.
Of course, the news. That is great. The news.
Norm, I asked him. I said, because they were on that grown-ups thing. I said, "How does Spade? What does he fucking say?" He goes, "I figured out the Spade thing." He goes, "He watches all those dumb broad shows, like so he's prepared with something to say, like the Kardashians." Like he goes up to a hot extra and goes, "That bag is so Chloe, really?"
Bag is so Chloe.
I think if you could pop down with the phone line, this seriously. I get Howard's on the phone. I guess.
Anything else, Robin?
Hello, Howard.
I got so much to get to. Yeah, that's not cool, man. What are you talking down to me, Artie? Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard. He just went into a couple. He went into the story how you'd never have Rosie on years ago and Ellen. Yeah. I had Jackie the Joke Man.
Wait, this sounds like one of the shit years, 2007.
What do you call it? Hey.
You know who this is?
I can't
This is a guy named SourShoes who
Come on, eh?
perfect impression.
He does such good impressions. Yeah.
Right. But Ellen danced, and Howard got on it years ago. But you're right about that. But
His Gary impression is fucking spot on.
So he's doing all these voices.
Yeah.
As one
It's
guy.
one lunatic.
He's in his mother's attic.
So to speak.
Hey, what do you do when you squeeze the synagogue?
What?
Jews! hey, how do you make a Jew broad scream twice?
Ow.
You fuck her in the ass and you wipe it on the drapes. Hey, what's up? It's Artie. That works for homos, too.
You make me homophobic? Yeah. Well, you're anti-Semitic. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, no, David Geffen's not finding us.
Fucking SourShoes is the greatest.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love this
guess
guy.
Guess what my mom's making for dinner?
What?
Oh, it's awesome. It's a little bit of roast pork, and she's going to use the extra to go in the sauce for Sunday. Oh, can you guys come up here and do a remote show one day?
Your mother's making for the 50th straight year your birthday cake.
Yeah. Putting in the mix.
SourShoes, thank you so much. We
Hi,
New
buddy. You have any
synthesizer
requests?
this year.
we enjoy
You have any
having you on.
requests for the way out besides jump off the building?
SourShoes, we love you.
We love you, Sour Shoes. Thank
Sour
you.
cream shoes.
He does impressions of everyone from.
Let's knock off.
Let's go. Knock off early.
It's Thursday.
Artie loves knocking off early.
Taking you guys dancing and roller skating.
I love when Artie dances. I don't know why.
Yeah, this is what Howard loves.
I think it's because
Like an elf doing this.
you got to go in front of the camera, Artie. There it is. Here it is.
I'm a natural.
Oh.
You look forward to this, Howard? You fuck. Look how I dress now.
Ah, shit, I want to get a shot of his crack.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll give it to you.
She looks like she does everything in breakdancing except going down on the carpet.
Which, of course, she does.
I'm not
Artie just did more aerobic exercise than he's seen in a year.
Jackie just asked for crack. What is this, 1988?
Oh, my God.
Look at how good he looks, man. Look at the...
He really does. How long have you been what they call sober?
See you guys.
Come on. He's going.
Many years. 16 years.
Very healthy.
You look great.
I smoke pot.
You still smoke some weed?